And on the way over here, I kid you not, like y'all may not look at me the same, but I cried on the way over here. I legit cried on the way over here.
So that's why you was walking like that.
Yeah, I cried on the way over here, bro.
Yeah.
I cried listening to believe it or not, listening to Luther Vandross Dance with My Father just randomly came on my Apple Music.
Yeah, that song's gonna make you cry, man.
And it made me cry because I was thinking like, bro, these two kids know how much I got a lot of love and respect for them and their dad, and they FaceTime me all the time. And I haven't spoken to them since their dad died. And I'm talking to myself like, bro, how fucking selfish can I be?
Just wanna see you on me. I just wanna see you on me. Put it on me, babe. Put it on me. Put it on me, babe. Put it on me. Loving on your body all day. Loving the way that you
Hey. What's going on? My name is Jay.
It's your boy Trey.
And we are the Fupas Flapjacks Podcast here on the Jay Derosier Media Network. And we're always joined by none other than the voice of God, Podcast Dr. Phil.
I have a fupa.
That was a different one.
Yeah,
Why did I give like Halloween?
Yo, for real. He's like,
Fupa.
Fupa.
Beware of the fupa.
Fupa's flying in from Transylvania? That's crazy.
I want to. Never mind.
You know niggas in Paris?
Yeah.
Fupa's in Transylvania?
There you go. Put on a shirt.
Where's Freddy Krueger from? Elm Street. Fupa's on Elm?
No, Fupa's on Sesame Street.
Fupa's on Sesame Street? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, R. Kelly, settle down.
It's wild.
No.
Let's bring it down a notch, sir.
No. Can we restart the show? No.
Anyways, y'all, we are joined every week by Phil. As you guys know, we have a reoccurring episode every week. But before we get to that reoccurring episode, I kind of want to take a moment to give Phil, Trey, and I guess myself some flowers. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 10.
Episode 10!
So, we would never get to this episode without you guys' comments, likes, subscriptions, support, plays, of course, Trey's hard work, Phil's hard work. Without all of that being in this beautiful pot, we cannot create such great content for you guys. So
JD Network is popping. JD Network got content. JD Network got content. Got two shows.
Two shows. Two of them things. But guys, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Of course, Trey, and of course, Phil. So, ladies and gentlemen, this topic this week, I'm not going to say trigger warning or anything like that. I'm just going to get it out the way now for a lot of you men who listen to the show, because our listeners are 82% women right now. 82% women. Okay. So to the 18% of men who listen to the show, I'm letting you know right now, I don't give a damn if you call me or Trey a simp for this episode, but the topic for this episode is emotional vulnerability in men. Who other than to speak on this than two black men that run this show? Right, Trey? So, with that being said, Trey and I kind of touched on it last episode when it comes to the man up aspect of being a man. How do you combat that, Trey? You're kind of going to repeat what you said last episode, but that's how we're going to start this episode.
I think that I can kind of move a little differently, right? Yeah. I think the first part of becoming a emotionally intelligent and well-rounded man, and we can bring God, but I think that's kind of like a given, especially if we're talking, if listeners are Christian and they know that we believe in God. That's going to be a given from us. I think the main thing first is figuring out who you are and loving yourself and not worrying about the perception of another person.
Right.
So this is mostly, we talk about relationships on this show, on this pod.
Yeah.
So from a relationship standpoint, it's understanding that if this person isn't accepting of you having emotions and feelings and can't really handle that, that person isn't for you. Mm-hmm. It's finding the person that can handle and deal with you being an openly, not emotional, but emotionally vulnerable person. Because there's a difference between being emotionally vulnerable and being emotional. Emotional means you have no regulation of your emotions.
Right.
That means you get angry easily, you break down easily, everything's easily. Being emotionally vulnerable is you know how to verbalize your emotions and communicate your emotions. Those are two separate things. And so some people on men and women's side don't know how to handle emotional vulnerability. But if you're a man and you are looking for someone to be with long term and to be your partner, and you are trying to develop as a man, that means believe in God, going to the gym, taking care of yourself, dieting correctly, focus on your career, chasing your dreams, and regulating your emotions. You're going to want to find a person who can understand that.
Yeah.
And if they can't understand it, then that's not the person for you, because you'll be going through the same cycle of hurt and pain.
To piggyback off what you just said, man, I'm about to get my shit off this episode real quick. I have been that man you're referring to for a large part of my life. To be utterly honest, we're being vulnerable. We're speaking my vulnerability. I cannot be a person that sits here on this pod and not actually be vulnerable with speaking on this topic. So I used to be that man for a long period of my life. And the thing that got me to understand what I was doing wrong and how I was moving was foul, or I wasn't doing what's in the best interest of my own mental health, was having a kid. I literally did not grow up until I had my son Nazareth. When I got my son, I looked back on all the stupid nonsense I used to do in my past and all the stupid nonsense that I try to continue to do. And I thought to myself, I'm like, how can I raise a young black boy in this world to not make the same mistakes I made if I continue to keep making the same mistakes? How do I raise a young kid and understand, he's going to cry, he's going to be emotional, and try to tell him like, hey, you got to do this, you can't act like that, blah, 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 to the point where he's suppressing his emotions like I've been suppressing my emotions my entire life. And then now he is, I'm not going to say resentful towards me, but he doesn't have the relationship with his father because his father's been telling him to, hey, shut up, don't cry, don't do this, you're not supposed to act like that, hey, don't do that, that's gay, oh, that's unbecoming, blah, 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 blah. Like, I couldn't be that kid. I couldn't raise a kid like that. I had to look within myself. I had to go to therapy. I had to pray to God a lot. Like, I'd be honest with you, man, my relationship with God in the past 5-6 years since my son has been born is way closer than it's been in the first 20-something years of my life. And it's not even close. And it's coming from a kid who was an altar server, I did my communions, my confirmation. I used to repent like every 6 months when I was growing up in the Catholic Church. My relationship with God now is 10 times better now than before. Mm-hmm. And this is just me being open and honest with you, Trey. A lot of those things that I used to do was always, now in my life, I leave with love. Like, I try to give people a lot of grace. You've seen it in my own life. Like, I try to give, whether it's dating, I try to give people a lot of grace. I try to turn the other cheek. Mm-hmm. Before, bro, I was so stuck. I don't know if I should say this on a podcast, but I was so invested in like things that really didn't do anything for me. For example, like porn. Mm-hmm. I got so enamored with like that aspect of sex, and I got so sexually censored. Sex was the center, and I just circled around it all the time to the point where I couldn't find a meaningful relationship. Yeah. Now that I'm older and I'm looking for a meaningful relationship, I know what to avoid now. Yeah. Because I knew where I was in that dark place in my life. Mm-hmm. I knew where I was when I went through depression. I knew where I was when I allowed alcohol to rule my life or run my life. I'm being open and honest. I'm telling Trey stuff right now that he doesn't really know. But now where I'm at now, where I can have a drink or two and not think anything of it and be like, I'm good. Mm-hmm. I could go on a date with a young lady and realize like, yo, this is really not going nowhere. There's no point in me wasting my time and try to go for sex. Mm-hmm. I can be at work and know something is not going well. Instead of being frustrated and lash out at my coworkers, I could just be like, yo, take a deep breath. It's just a bad day. Let's clock out. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I could listen to a pod and be like, yo, I didn't do enough on that episode, and not just be like, yo, I suck. I could be like, okay, now I know how to move. I know how to be better. Mm-hmm. I think that's the aspect of myself where I see myself little by little. I grew into the more emotionally intelligent man that I am now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the same time, with you saying that, it's okay to have setbacks.
Yeah.
It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. Me and you've had plenty of conversations where you've reached out to talk to me, to make certain decisions, or was I wrong for saying it like this? Or, that's you checking in on yourself to see, did I make the right decision? Did I do something different? You know what I'm saying? Even you, even me getting to know you in the past few years, and you changing from being the petty king to, with your responses and everything, to kind of, and you know how I used to respond to you, but I'm like, come on, bro. Like, you ain't really that. He's like, no, I'm gonna get this off. I'm gonna get this shit off. To the point where you are now, where you're not, you may have a setback or whatever, but you're not petty like you used to be. It's not in your energy anymore to do that.
Yeah.
I've seen the growth since I've known you, and I will say this: when you have, especially you have an autistic child, there's a level of patience, there's a level of grace that you have to have if you're going to raise a child in that manner, because it's not easy. It's not all roses and a good time. It's difficulties because you have a child and you want your child to be the best thing in the world. You want to give them the best, and sometimes when you see the difficulties of your child, where I've seen you get so excited about him writing his numbers or saying ABCs correctly and speaking in multiple languages, and you really being very excited about that. And a lot of parents don't understand. They may get excited, but they don't understand the excitement you have for it because they're not in the same predicament. There's a little bit more gratitude and happiness for that. Mm-hmm. And so when you get that level of, you have to have that level of patience. You have to have that level of grace that could change a man, because you start looking at the world saying, that's not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. And so you're making adjustments and seeing that. I told you this before, and you knew this made me feel terrible for a long time. When my ex had her miscarriage, and I think it was the third month, and it was supposed to be a boy, and Father's Days were very hard for me because that's all I wanted to do was be a father. But also that made me realize how much little other things are.
Yeah.
Like how much I wanted to be a father, how much I wanted that child. And looking at the world and what goes on, I'm like, man, this stuff is small compared to what's really going on. We tripping over little things that don't even matter.
Yep.
So yeah, I like I said, watching you with your son, watch you develop as a man. I mean, you can definitely see the growth. Even if other people can't see it, I'm telling you, as your best friend, I can see it.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. I knew this was gonna be a tough episode for me, bro. I just growing up in you know this as a black man. I mean, you're FBA. My family's from the Caribbean. Growing up in a Caribbean household, man, there's no such thing as crying as a boy. I mean, that's most men go through that no matter what race you're in, right? But knowing that I was emotional as a child, and I used to lash out when I played sports. I had lashed out when I was in band, and I tried to learn it to play the piano. I used to lash out because I wasn't as best as people I looked up to, or wasn't as good as my brothers and sisters in certain things. And then when I realized that I had a gift for gab that no one else in my family does have. Mm-hmm. I have a gift of understanding conversations. I have a gift of leading a team. I have a gift of doing things that a lot of people in my family don't. Mm-hmm. I then thought to myself, like, man, I need to stop comparing myself to other people. Right. I stopped comparing myself to other people a while ago. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care if this episode gets 1 view. Mm-hmm. Guess what? That's 1 more view than it would have got if I didn't say shit.
Right.
If I didn't open up. Maybe that's one person that's sitting there like, man, I probably should show this to my brother. Man, I should show this to my sister. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, look what they talking about. That's 1 more view than I would have got if I just kept my mouth shut. Yeah. That's 1 more view I would have got than if I would have just suppressed my emotions like I did my entire life pretty much.
Yeah.
And suppressing my emotions, man, I'm still working on that too. Because sometimes I suppress my emotions all week, and I'll be with my son on the weekend, or I'll be with my son on a Thursday or a Friday or a Wednesday, and he'll have a temper tantrum in the backseat, and I can feel myself getting ready to boil over and yell at him and be like, yo, chill out. Mm-hmm. It's like, chill out, Jay. You don't need to displace your anger to your 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, he's a 5-year-old child. He don't know no better. Mm-hmm. You a grown man. You need to learn how to be emotionally intelligent and understand, like, yo, put your emotions to the side for a second.
Yeah.
Talk to your child.
Yeah.
Have him understand. Have him breathe.
Yeah.
It's tough, bro.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I want to give a different perspective because a lot of times we keep hearing about black people being fatherless and, you know, and me being an FBA, like, black men are told on the car. I came from a really, every family has their dysfunctions, but I came from a very functional family where I got to express my feelings. Mm-hmm. I cried in front of my mom. I cried in front of my dad. Being able to feel was never a problem for me. What was a problem for me was regulating my feelings. I had to learn how to regulate them.
Yep.
But feeling and expressing tears and crying and anger, those were all natural to me. My parents allowed me to feel those things. And there are tons of black people who have parents and families that allow them to do that. And I know that we have our stereotypes of, you know, black men don't cry. There are a lot of black men who have healthy dynamics, who have healthy parents, who were able to express their feelings. I got a question for the pod Godfather. With your marriage, how does your wife see you and let you, you know, be vulnerable as a man?
She does not at all.
Oh, wow.
I'll be honest with you. Nope.
I was not expecting that.
Hey, I'm telling you, she ain't watching this shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fair enough.
So, no, I can't. All that stuff we were talking about on the other show, that was it. You know what I mean?
Shit.
This is my safe space.
I feel you on that.
And I'll be honest with you, man. It really is. It really does put a huge strain on our relationship, communication wise, because she feels that, you know, everything that she says is the gospel, really. You know, and then like we argue, I can't even get a word in sometimes. You know, and she'll come back and apologize maybe 3 weeks later, but like I already forgot what we argued about. You know, but when it comes to something that I'm like worried about or concerned about, I've learned I already know what she's going to say before she even says it. So I end up just hesitating and stopping myself from even saying it because I already know what her reaction is going to be. And it sucks, but we need to go therapy.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, did you think about that?
I was going to say, is that like a fear of, like, I mean, obviously that's a fear of rejection if you were to express that, right?
No, it's because I have expressed it and been stonewalled. So I already know what the answer is sometimes, you know. But no, we need to go therapy. I've already expressed that, you know. And
what was her reaction to that?
To therapy?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Fair enough. You got a point on that one.
Yeah, because our current issue right now is that she wants to have another kid, right? And I'm like, why? You know, she's in her 40s, you know, and Jay, you already know my situation with my son.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's like a huge thing with me where I don't want to have that to happen again. But even if our child is fine, it's still a huge strain on the both of us because it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
You know, and so I say you need to go to therapy. Well, we need to go to therapy just to talk. But she's like, no, I don't want anybody to convince me to not have a kid. I'm like, I'm not. That's not what therapy is about. But she has a lot of growing up to do herself. That I try to talk to her about, but it's hard. And I'm not perfect either. I'm not literally dogging my wife at all. You know.
Yeah. No, facts.
But it is. We've been married. This is our 15th year, so we've been through a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? A lot. So I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
But I do think therapy is the next point for us if we were going to grow as a couple. Because sometimes in married couples who are watching this, sometimes you just realize you're just going through the motions day by day. You have sex, you pay bills, eat dinner. You know what I mean? Argue, do the same shit for life.
So what do you do to spice it up to make it a little different? Or are you guys so comfortable with that you're not really trying to
It's really difficult for us because of our situation with our
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
It's hard to just do. So one thing that is a guilty pleasure, and she likes it, is just the Temu shopping, the Temu and the TikTok shop, bro. Because she essentially has a card with unlimited money on it, so she just, when she feels sad, she goes on TikTok shop and buys a bunch of stupid shit.
Damn.
That makes her feel good though. So
that's how she regulates.
Yeah.
So you regulate by your emotion
here.
is here being at the pod.
Well, no. I think just I'm sorry. I'm talking a lot here, but what I've learned as I've grown up is that men tend to, when they get like, I guess, depressed or something like that, they overwork and isolate themselves.
Yeah.
And Jay, how many jobs do I have? How many careers do I have?
Yeah. More jobs than the Jamaican stepdad.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how I've had to cope with it, by just overworking myself, because I have more control over that than I do at home.
Got it.
I feel you. That's currently what I'm doing right now.
Yep. So that's the truth, man.
It's currently what I'm doing right now. And it's not on some like depression. It's just more so I'm trying to navigate myself and navigate just life right now. Like, I know where I want to be. I know I'm on the right track to be there. I speak to God every day about it. And he gives me... You ever watch Family Guy, Phil? Of course. Trey?
Yeah.
Peter.
You know what James Woods?
Peter.
But you know when they try to get James Woods in that box all the time, it's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. That's how I feel like God is treating me right now. It's like, ooh, another piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. Like, he's getting me there. And granted, it's not on the time that I need it to be, but it's on the time it has to be. And I'm starting to understand and come to grips with that, and it's tough, bro. Like I kid you not, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. I had a friend I grew up with in New York. He was shot and killed about 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
I haven't told anybody about it, didn't really speak about it. I didn't even go to the funeral because I didn't know how to process it.
Jeez. And
this is somebody who I really was good friends with in elementary school. Like, when I tell you, we used to cheat on each other's homework, like cover for each other if something happened in school. So like, neither of our parents got the phone call at school, with the belt and everything like that. And it's somebody I truly had a lot of respect and love for. Obviously he and I have fallen out, but not falling out in the sense of like anything negative, just falling out because, we grew apart. Like, he grew up, had 2 kids, I grew up and had a kid, and life just goes on, you know what I'm saying? And I knew something was wrong with me because I haven't really took the time myself to really process this death, because it's like the first death I've had in my, I guess, somebody who was a friend of mine, it's not just family. And I haven't had a chance to process it because, like, I had to look in the mirror this morning when I was getting ready to come out here, and I'm like, bro, I haven't even cried. And I thought to myself, like, yo, what's the last time I actually cried or I sat in the corner and just really kept my thoughts to myself rather than thinking like, yo, I got to write the podcast outline. Yo, I got to make sure this is posted on time. Yo, I got to make sure Nazareth is good. Yo, is Nazareth's homework done? Yo, is Nazareth's clothes set for tomorrow? Yo, I got to talk to my co-parent to figure out what's going on for the week for my child. And on the way over here, I kid you not, like, y'all may not look at me the same, but I cried on the way over here. I legit cried on the way over here.
So that's why you was walking like that.
Yeah, I cried on the way over here, bro.
Yeah.
I cried listening to believe it or not, listening to Luther Vandross Dance with My Father just randomly came on my Apple Music.
Yeah, that song's gonna make you cry, man.
And it made me cry because I was thinking like, bro, these 2 kids know how much I got a lot of love and respect for them and their dad, and they FaceTime me all the time. And I haven't spoken to them since their dad died. And I'm talking to myself like, bro, how fucking selfish can I be? And it's like, I'm not selfish. I just have to process what I'm trying to feel. And I just thought to myself like, something's wrong with me. Like, I genuinely think that something's wrong with me. And this is not just this one situation that showed me it. There's been situations in the past where I've gone through breakups or trauma dumping on me or trauma dumping on people where I'm just like, yeah, I don't trust this person. I need to keep it moving.
No, there's nothing wrong with you when it comes to, especially the death. Because for me, I don't know how to handle death either. I think death is one of those things that I just don't get and comprehend. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a lot of people die in my life. I've lost all 4 of my grandparents. I watched all 5 of my grandparents. My great-grandmother as well passed away. I've lost a couple cousins that were immediate cousins, not like random 4th, 5th, like cousins at family reunions I know close, recording music for them. Like, watched them at the daycare, like cousins. That really fucked me up, and I still don't quite understand death, and still don't quite get it. So it doesn't make you feel. It doesn't make you weird to not understand how to really process something like this, especially when it's someone that's your age. It's really fucked up when it's someone that's young, your age. Not like someone who's like 70, 80, like, oh, you know, you lived a long life.
Yeah.
When it's someone that's close to your age or younger, it hit different. Because, like, dang, my life is just as vulnerable at any point. You know what I'm saying? It could be up for me too. So I don't think you're weird for that, bro.
It just doesn't feel right. Like I've been going through stuff left and right in life over the past like couple of years, and I really haven't had a chance to like take a step back and just look at everything in totality, and just be like, yo, I'm proud of myself. Like, yo, you're on the right track. I really haven't had a chance to do that, and then this happened, and it's just like I feel that anytime God's putting a piece of candy in front of me, I'm taking the candy, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get to that salvation, that great, that great big prize. There's a trap door that starts me all the way back at the front door again. Like if I'm going up the stairs, like there's a trap door that slides, like turns into a slide and sends me right back to the front door before I can go back up the stairs again. And it sucks, bro. Like it hurts every time some shit like this happens, bro. To the point where I'm like, should I just fucking give up?
Yeah. Well, I want to say two things. I want to go back to what you said first about kind of going through the motions of life. And I have felt that. As a matter of fact, that was where I was feeling last week. I had posted on my threads. I was like, yo, I feel burnt out. I feel like I'm going to be burnt in a second, like
Bro,
done.
That's a real feeling. And sorry to hijack
You're good.
You're good.
But like, I produce several dozen shows, right? And I have my own show, right? And with a lot of the things, the past maybe month have been really, really difficult for me. Like, Dominic has really bad teeth problems, so he has wisdom teeth coming in, so we had to have a procedure. But having a severely special needs child is even harder, right? And then my foot, I'm a partial amputee, so I was having my foot issues. I had to have a procedure. And then literally that Sunday, Lucia, my wife, I was recording a live show here, and she's calling me screaming because she's in pain, right? So I had to stop the live show and go rush home. The ambulance had to go take her to the hospital, and the doctors are like, "Oh, there's something wrong with your liver," and we don't even know. And this is all what I was trying to. It was the anniversary of my father's death. That week too, and so I'm trying to talk to my mom and all this other stuff. So this past like month, January was real tough for me.
Sheesh. And
so I was burnt out. I didn't even want to produce my show, because it wasn't making any money. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't work for me. That was something for me to get away and have fun, and I just was like, fuck it, I don't even want to do it.
Yeah.
No. What's the word? No.
Motivation.
Motivation. Yeah. Nothing.
No, that's wild. Like, yeah, that burnt out feeling is something. I texted my parents. I texted my family. We have a group chat, my family group chat. My mom, my dad, my siblings. And I said, guys, can y'all just pray for me? And immediately I got a text. You okay? You good? You did it? I'm like, I just need y'all to pray for me. Because it wasn't like I was sad or depressed, but I was so exhausted. Like, when you're going through and you're going to work, you're working your 9 to 5 or whatever you're working, and then you're trying to find love, and then we doing the pod, so I'm making a bunch of clips, and then you making your own. For me, I'm speaking for me, making music, and then going and trying to make a bunch of stuff for Instagram, make a bunch of stuff for TikTok, and try to fit in time with everyone, and try to FaceTime people and talk to people and everything. I was at a point where I was like, I'm going to burn out. I'm going to stall, and I could feel it. And I think the one thing that helped me out in that situation was, one, like I said, I asked my family for prayer, and I think the support of people behind me saying, I got your back, I'll give you a prayer, made me feel good. And second, that this past Saturday, because it just happened this past Saturday, I said, I'm going to stay up till 2 a.m. I'm going to knock everything out. I'm going to do everything I got to do to set myself up for this week. And what that told me was I need to plan better. I need to adjust so that my life doesn't happen, so I don't feel like this ever again. And why I feel burnt out again? Probably it's life. Life is life. But for what I can control, and this is why I wanted to bring into what you talked about, like the trap door. A lot of times, the trap door is our decisions. The trap door is our choices that we make. And we tend to think a lot about is, why didn't God protect me, or why didn't God handle this? And God's answer to that is, well, it's your choice. This is a free choice world. I gave you a free choice to live how you want to live. You had an opportunity, bills are coming up. You chose to spend your money on that girl going on a $200 date, and now you're $200 short. And now you're trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that, and I've learned this, and this is what helped me. This is what has helped me emotionally regulate. I have learned that accountability removes a lot of emotional pain that I've gone through. When I accept my faults, that I did it, I'm responsible, I'm the one, I control everything that goes around me, that I'm the narrator of my life. When I realize that that's my control and I'm in authority of that, that's when I realize, like, I can't feel bad when I'm the one who spent the $200 on Shorty. I spent the $200 on Shorty. Yep. Now I got to figure it out.
Yep.
Or it's not my, you know what I'm saying? It's on, I chose Shorty. She don't know how to talk or whatever, but I didn't want to take the time and ask the right questions and do this. That's on me. Well, I was at work and I decided to get out of body and cuss somebody out when I could have just held my tongue and just walked away. But my ego and pride, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I got my pride. I ain't gonna just let no nigga talk to me the way they want to talk to me and then lose my job over that because I made that choice. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, every day is a choice, and that choice takes you to another spot. Is another spot in your journey. And part of making those choices, going back to emotionally being vulnerable and emotional regulation, those choices have to be made after reacting to the emotion. You feel the emotion, you address it, and then you react. A lot of people will have the emotion and just react immediately and don't even think about it. Yeah. You have the emotion, you react to the emotion, and then you move from there. And so, to me, in my head, life and your life, your journey is your choice, and every choice you make takes you to the right step.
I think one thing we can really kind of harping on and circle back on this episode is that I think all of us as men, in general, we need to do better with how do I say this? Self-compassion. Mm-hmm. I think because we grow up being taught not to have these emotions. Mm-hmm. We don't have the compassion for ourselves or give ourselves the grace to be like, it's okay to go in the corner and kind of like just break down for a second. It's okay to just drive in silence. Mm-hmm. Like, it's okay to, Phil, for example. Phil, you told me like sometimes video games is your escape besides, this. Yeah. Right? Yep. It's okay to go and play video games for a little bit to kind of get your mind off of what's going on like around the world.
Facts.
Like, bro, when I bought that PSP for Christmas, that saved my January. If I didn't have that for my hard January, bro, I would have been struggling.
Bro, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, coming here, this is my great escape. Yeah. Like, genuinely coming here is my great escape. I get to hang out with my best friend. I get to hang out with somebody who I really have a lot of faith and compassion in with Phil. Like, I get to shoot the shit. Obviously, it's something I'm passionate about, something I'm good at, but I finally get to shoot the shit with people who kind of have like-minded thoughts like me. I'm not just saying that because we're men. I'm not being that guy. But I think we just need to give ourselves that self-compassion and give ourselves that grace to have that, to move forward so we're not looking in the mirror every day being like, yo, you suck. You do this. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You're doing that wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah. Phil, anything you got to say before we sign off?
You took the words right out of my mouth. We got to give ourselves that grace because we as men are way too hard on ourselves. So
I'm making clips this week, and I'm going to do a clip montage of the Podfather because you had some.
Oh yeah,
You had some heat, boy.
Hey, what's that? You remember back in the day when they did poetry slams?
Sheesh, you gonna be on the clips.
Yeah,
just don't tag me, please. I don't want to hurt you.
No, we ain't. Oh yeah, you gonna see him anyways. But
yeah,
we gonna have to put it in because saying Instagrams and gave us 3 minutes.
Yeah, Instagram crazy.
Yeah,
It's gonna say go ahead and keep talking.
yeah.
But anyways, y'all, it's been another episode of the Fupas and Flapjacks Podcast, episode 10, by the way. Episode 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, on behalf of
Trey,
on behalf of the podcast, Dr. Phil, we appreciate you guys. We're signing off. But like I said on the last episode, signing off on the musical stylings of Trey.
you're crazy.
The song is fire. This is fire. We getting a grant.
I just wanna see you on me. I just wanna see you on me. Put it on me, baby, put it on me. Put it on me, baby, put it on me.